Alright, so in today's video, we seriously need to talk about what's happening with Columbina in Genshin Impact 6.2, because if the latest leaks are to be believed, we might actually get to play her for the first time during the upcoming Archon quest. Yeah, not in her full banner form yet, but as a temporary playable character within the story itself, and that alone has the entire community buzzing. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg, especially for the 6.1 release. Lootbar is offering limited 6,480 pack for only $75. Compared to $100 in-game, that's a $25 saving. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase, just like with in-game top-ups. Beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Honkai Star Rail. Lootbar has over 100,000 satisfied users and also supports PS5 and Xbox top-ups. I regularly use Lootbar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. New users can get an extra 10% discount, while returning users get 5%. The link is in the description. So here's what's going around. A post from a leaker known as Uncle Lunar Cock, forwarded via Helena's Vault on Telegram, claims that in version 6.2 we'll be able to play as Columbina in AQ and use her skill. And the description mentions a ring-throwing skill test, which instantly got players wondering, are we talking about an actual combat-based skill preview here, or just a cinematic walk-around moment like Dainsleif's appearances? If you've been following Hoyo versus patterns lately, this leak actually fits their usual pre-banner rhythm almost perfectly. We got Neferina teased in 6.0's story, and she became playable in 6.1. We had Duran appear in teasers and early data mines before officially joining in 6.1 as well. And now, Columbina seems to be following the same route. Story appearance 1 patch early, full release next patch. So 6.2 might be our first hands-on moment with her, while 6.3, often called the Luna 4 patch, will be her full banner debut. Now, the interesting part is how players are reacting to this. Reddit has been filled with people debating whether this is going to be more like Kafka's preview in Honkai Star Rail, where we actually got to fight using her real abilities before her banner, or more like Dainsleif's quest sequences, where you just control him briefly for cinematic fights with a restricted moveset. The majority seem to lean toward the Kafka-style preview, mainly because Columbina's internal character ID already exists and aligns with a 6.3 release window, meaning her animations and combat logic are likely finished by the time 6.2's beta goes live. That's also why many believe this won't just be a cutscene or walk-around. The post explicitly says we'll use her skill, and that suggests an interactive, playable mechanic, even if it's in a limited context. One Redditor even pointed out that the leaked Columbina battle theme, that haunting melodic track that's been circulating for months, could actually be used during this very Archon quest segment. If that's true, it's not only a gameplay teaser, but also her official musical reveal, similar to how Furina's theme was teased before Fontaine's finale. Now, as for her element and kit, there's still a bit of confusion floating around. Some data placeholders list her as Cryo, but that's almost certainly incorrect. Most credible sources, and I mean people who've been tracking the Nod Cry development IDs, agree that she's Hydro, which fits perfectly with the region's thematic focus and with previous leakers' hints. One player even summed it up, "There's no way she's Cryo." Hydro is the central element for Nod Cry characters, and Hoyo would have to seriously troll to make her Cryo. And honestly, that tracks. Her skill, this so-called ring-throwing mechanic, is still mysterious, but based on early kit whispers, it might function like a precision attack or a projectile-based support skill. Some theories even connect it to her rumored lunar or song motif, meaning it could have both hydro damage and supportive resonance effects that tie into upcoming reaction systems. Nothing's confirmed, of course, but it fits the poetic, ethereal vibe we've seen tied to her name since her first appearance in the Fatui Harbinger's trailer. And speaking of that, If you remember how Hoyoverse handled Arlecchino's pre-release, it's the same playbook. They gave her a story spotlight before her banner to build attachment and hype. So if Columbina's playable in the 6.2 Archon quest, it's not random. It's a strategic move to tease her combat identity and personality right before she officially enters the gacha pool. Of course, not everyone's buying it yet. Some players are skeptical, pointing out that Mavwika had similar leaks claiming she'd be playable in her story segment. But that ended up being just a short walk. Others think this might be a story-specific skill, like the lamp mechanic we had in Fontaine's quest, an ability you can use briefly but isn't part of her real kit. And that's totally possible. Hoyoverse loves to use these moments as light previews without spoiling everything before beta testing begins. But still, the timing is too perfect to ignore. The 6.3 beta will likely begin right as 6.2 releases, meaning leakers will immediately data mine Columbina's full kit, animations, and constellations shortly after we see her in-game. In other words, 6.2 gives us the teaser, 6.3 brings the full reveal. I think that's why the community reaction has been so wild. Some people are already joking that this could be the peak of the entire Nodcry arc, and honestly, they might be right. We've seen her shadow teased for over 2 years now, her song motif, her delicate yet eerie demeanor. If we really get to play her, even for a single quest, that's going to be a massive moment for longtime fans. And I get it. There's always that mix of excitement and hesitation. It's easy to get caught up in leaks, especially when they come from names as absurd, yet oddly reliable as Uncle Lunar Cock, who, by the way, people think might actually be Uncle Balls under a new alias. Say what you will about the name, but their track record so far has been surprisingly solid. At the end of the day, whether this is a full trial or just a limited skill preview, it's a big step toward Columbina's long-awaited debut. It's also another clear sign that Hoyoverse is leaning more and more into pre-banner engagement, giving us playable teasers like Kafka, cinematic build-ups like Arlecchino, and now possibly a mix of both with Columbina. So yeah, 6.2 might just give us our first real look at the damselette in action. And if that ring-throwing skill really shows up in gameplay, we're about to witness one of the most beautiful and haunting character reveals in the entire game. What do you guys think? Do you prefer Hoyoverse doing these pre-release trials to build hype? Or would you rather they keep characters completely hidden until their banners? Let me know down below. I'm really curious what everyone thinks after seeing how this leak spread. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on everything Genshin 6.2 and beyond, from Columbina's kit details to the upcoming Archon Quest breakdown, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the updates when the beta data starts dropping. Buy 6,480 Genesis crystals with 6.1 limited pack for only $75 at lootbar.gg. Returning users can also grab an extra coupon for up to 5% off. Link in the description.